Welcome to Intuitive Flow. I'm your host, Mikaela Filar, intuitive energetic healer, medium, entrepreneur, and mindset mentor with a mission to help you step into your fullest potential by giving you the tools to rid yourself of limiting beliefs, love yourself unconditionally, and create the reality that you dream of living. It is time to transform your mindset, get unstuck, and step into the highest frequency version of yourself who has unshakable confidence. I am even answering your juiciest questions regarding all things intuition, manifestation, personal development, self-love, self-image, and helping you work through your dilemmas, intuitively guiding you to expand your mindset and level up in life. So turn up the volume and get excited for this intuitive flow. Hey guys, welcome back to Intuitive Flow with Mikaela Filar, and welcome to episode 2 of this new series. We are stepping into the era of embodying the love we seek to manifest the relationship of our dreams. In today's episode, we are chatting about the next chapter because let's face it, most of us are always chasing after what is next. Heck, I am definitely guilty of this, okay? I'm still human. I still do this stuff. It's just that I now have the tools where I can reel it back in, okay? But I caught myself daydreaming about the next chapter this past weekend. I went to Costa Mesa to go and visit some friends. A dear friend of mine, Kendra, who is one of my besties, she recently had a baby about 9 weeks ago. So I finally went and saw the baby. I had so much fun just like seeing the baby, meeting the baby for the first time, seeing Kendra. I hadn't seen her in literally a year. So I didn't even see her pregnant, which is crazy. She found out she was pregnant like 2 weeks before I saw her, after I saw her last. But I digress. So I go out there and I visit her and I'm like meeting the baby and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cute. And like, I'm so excited to like, for this to happen for me and Bryson. I mean, I also am excited to like get married and like be engaged and like there's some steps that, are going to happen before that next chapter. But there was a part of me that was like, daydreaming about what that's going to look like. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. However, we can get into the space of like, oh, like I wish I was there, especially when you are in your late 20s or your or your early 30s, mid 30s, and let's say you like haven't even found a boyfriend yet, or and you have these friends who are all, getting engaged or married or having kids or buying houses, and it's like a lot. It can be a lot. And I know that from personal experience because when I was like turning 29, I've lost friends over it because I didn't have the tools that I needed to pull myself out of the woe is me, this isn't happening for me yet. Like I wish that I had this so bad. And there's nothing, like I said, bad about that, about wishing for more, about wondering and daydreaming about that next chapter and what it's going to look like for you. But what it does is it robs us of the present moment. And it doesn't help when we are trying to like be in the present and be grateful and live in gratitude, right? And focus on all the things that we do have, to be comparing our lives to somebody else's, right? Comparison doesn't exist, you guys. Comparison is the thief of joy, literally. And it also just doesn't exist. Why? Because we all have our own soul contracts before we even get on earth, okay? And for a fact, one person's timeline isn't going to be the same as yours. So you just have to hold on to the knowing that if you have that desire to have that, maybe it's to get engaged or married or have kids or not have kids or buy a house or whatever it is, if you have that desire, just hold the knowing that it will be yours one day, because it will, because it freaking will. Okay. But I understand also what it's like to see all of these things happening around you and it not happening for you yet. And maybe you're a little bit down on yourself. Maybe you're a little bit jealous. Okay. I get it because I've been there and it's okay. But I want to reel it back in today. So that's kind of one of the things that we're going to be chatting about. So after visiting with my friend Kendra and her husband and meeting the baby and having that just amazing, beautiful day with them, I drove back to where I lived prior to meeting Bryson. And because my neighbor who lived behind me, it was her birthday and she was having a little birthday celebration, which it was so much fun. We all got together and we had a cacao ceremony and it was just so beautiful. And which is like a heart opening situation where we all just like were talking and we weren't like, there's no alcohol involved. Like none of these people drink. And fun fact, I actually have really scaled back on the drinking. It was one of my New Year's resolutions was basically no alcohol in 2025, which there are a couple of events that are happening where I'm like, I may or may not drink. I don't know, but I'm not like saying I'm never drinking alcohol again, but I'm definitely like way scaling back. And I literally have zero desire to drink alcohol. But that is besides the point. That was just such a huge tangent, but basically went to go visit Nikki. That's her name, my girlfriend, it was her birthday. And we had this cacao ceremony and we just talked. And there was a couple of guys there that played the guitar. And we sat by the fire and they played the guitar and we all sang. And it was just like such a rad, amazing, fun experience. And I love the fact that I had so much fun with no alcohol involved. Like, I love those types of events where it's like there's no pressure, everyone's on the same page, and it was just a great time. Anyways, I digress. But as I was driving from Kendra to Nikki, okay, and I was just like, so unbelievably happy for Kendra. Like, if I've known this girl for like 5 years, and if like the growth and the, chapters of life that I have witnessed in her life, I'm just so proud and I'm so happy for her. So, and I'm driving back. So I was just feeling all of this gratitude and of like being able to like be her friend and to be witness to her transformation and all that she's created in her life. And then also to have kind of this like feeling inside of me of like, oh, I can't wait for that to be my reality. Like, I can't wait to have a house with Bryson and to be married and to have kids. And like, it gives me goosebumps and it makes me emotional because I know that's going to happen. And I'm so excited for that to happen. I caught myself in that moment kind of getting a little bit too over elated, right? And what happens when we get over elated about anything that we're desiring, right? It pushes it out further. And we also make it mean something about us, right? In that moment, I caught myself like, oh, Kendra, she's younger than me. She just turned 30. I'm turning 33 in September. And there was a part of me for a split second, like this limiting belief that popped up into my head. And it was like, she's really ahead of you for, her age. And what society deems as typical is her reality. And I'm going to be, I guess, a older mom. And that isn't something that I ever saw for myself, but like, we can't plan our life out like that. So like, if that is your reality, so be it. And you know what? I'm going to be a MILF. Like, but I had to talk myself back down from the ledge, I guess, back away from the ledge because there was a part of me that was like comparing where I was to where she is. This is something that I really struggled with when I was 29, right? And this is something that I really struggled with was this idea of like, I'm behind, I'm falling behind. But that just brings me back to the point of you are not behind. You are exactly where you are meant to be in life. Everything that you desire is going to be your reality. You just have to hold on to that knowing and trust that the universe has your back. God, source, universe, whatever word best resonates with you, they have your back and they will make it happen. But in the meantime, you just have to do your best to be present and to be so unbelievably grateful for where you are right now in this present moment, right? And to breathe in that gratitude. Like, let's just take a minute to take a deep breath. Breathe in all the goodness that is your life right now. No matter what you have going on, no matter where you're at, no matter how quote unquote far you are from achieving what you want, like you have no idea when it's going to happen for you. You just have to hold on to the knowing and keep doing what you need to do in order to make it happen. right? But when I was driving and I was like sitting in that gratitude and then working through that limiting belief of like, oh, I'm further behind than she is, I was like, no, no, no. Remember everything that you've learned. Remember that there's no such thing as competition. Remember that you are exactly where you are meant to be and that everything is happening on purpose for a purpose. And then I just got so unbelievably grateful for where I am and for where I am with like Bryson and I's relationship and to have that relationship, right? Like I am so unbelievably grateful for the relationship that Bryson and I have. And that in and of itself, like I don't want to rush into the next chapter just because it's something that society deems as, oh, well, you got to hurry because, you're getting older, your clock is ticking. Like, no, whatever is meant to be will be. And I'm not going to rush into anything that's like that I'm wanting because that doesn't feel right. The rush doesn't feel right. And I'm holding on in the knowing that everything is going to happen in divine timing. So I was working through that limiting belief. I was reminding myself of all the things that I just chatted with you guys about. Then I was driving, and like I said, Nikki lived in the house behind my old house. And I was driving there and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I just remember being in this space, being in the space of I was single and I was living in this 250 square foot apartment and I was working on myself and like focused on working on myself and embodying the love that I seek to manifest the relationship of my dreams, right? I was so focused. I was in that era. I was in the era that we're on in this podcast right now. That's where I was before I met Bryson. This is all the work that I did to meet Bryson. And I was in that era. And I just remember, sitting in that and being like, I just can't wait to have a boyfriend. I can't wait for that next chapter, right? And then there I went again, just thinking about that next chapter. And the reality is we are always seeking after what's next. And it's in those moments where we catch ourselves dreaming about what is to come, because it will come. We have to get grateful and get neutral about that desire. Now, I had this epiphany, when I was driving to my old house to see Nikki. And I was like, this is such a beautiful reminder to one, be so unbelievably proud of who you are today and how much you've done to attract this relationship that you're in now. And just holding that, knowing that everything is happening on purpose for a purpose. But I was having this epiphany of like, I've grown so much in the last 2 years. And I was so focused on chasing that next chapter. And I was so focused on all the things that I didn't have yet. But in that 2 year, in that span of like, okay, no, I'm really going to embody the love that I seek so that I can actually manifest a partner, be an energetic match for a partner that I'm actually seeking for, that I'm actually like desiring to be in a relationship with. Because the reality is like, you can have, if let's say you're single right now, you could have a boyfriend fucking tomorrow if you wanted to, or a girlfriend tomorrow if you wanted to. Let's be real. But like that person might not be the person that you're dreaming of being in a relationship with. They might be terrible. They might be narcissistic. They might not be ready for a relationship. You might attract a person who isn't ready for a relationship. You know what I'm saying? And that's because you are not done healing from your past, or you are not done fully in this, like with yourself, with this self-love era that you've stepped into. You've decided, okay, I'm really going to do the work on myself to fully unconditionally love myself and to see myself for the worthy queen that I am, right? You have to get unbelievably grateful for where you're at now. While it is okay to obviously get excited and to have these daydreams of that next chapter, but like stop getting jealous, stop comparing where you are to where somebody else is, and take whatever that manifestation is and take it off the pedestal. And because, like, in order for you to draw in your manifestations, as you know here, if you're not new here, that if you want to attract anything into your life, you've got to take that damn manifestation off the pedestal. You got to take it off. You have to stop making it mean something about you. You have to get neutral, because there is equal parts good and bad about everything. Doesn't matter what it is. Having a boyfriend or a girlfriend, getting married, having kids, starting a family, right? Like there's good and bad parts to all of it. I'm sure you can neutralize it and equal them out. You can, because it's universal law. Everything, it's the universal law of polarity. Everything is in balance. Everything is neutral. But it's just your perception that you have to shift, right? So that is kind of like the epiphany that I had this past weekend of just like, if you find yourself chasing after that next chapter, I want you to remind yourself that there is no such thing as competition. We all have our own divine soul contract in that divine timing, and that it is not your job to know about exactly how and when. It's your job to just hold on to the knowing and to do the physical action that you need to do, whether that be work on yourself or neutralize the manifestation or, get X, Y, and Z in line. Then that is the only thing that you have to do. That is your only responsibility. Stop getting anxious about when it's going to happen, because nothing is going to happen if you've got your grip on it too tight, because that's when you know you're making it mean something about you. This next theory I share will have the men in your life utterly obsessed with you. But before I get into this, I want to make sure that you sign up for my free masterclass, where I spill the 5 key shifts that you must make in order to manifest and keep your dream relationship. This Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I am going live on Zoom. Make sure you sign up in the show notes below. All the details for that are there. But going into the theory, this is a theory that I love to call the rubber band theory. Now, I want you to either visualize, or if you're not doing anything, and you can grab a hair tie or a rubber band. I've got one right here if you're watching this on YouTube. And I want you to put your fingers in the rubber band, just your 2 pointer fingers, just put them in the rubber band, and just hold a healthy tension between the 2 fingers. Now, no matter what, that tension you cannot have any slack in the rubber band, okay? So that always has to have a healthy tension, not where you're pulling it too far, but there's just always got to be a healthy amount of tension between your 2 pointer fingers. Now, these 2 pointer fingers are going to be 2 people. And imagine this is like you and the person you're dating. Now, remembering there always has to be a healthy amount of tension between 2 people. If one person is chasing after the other, and then there creates this slack, right? There never is slack though. So what happens is that this other person is going to pull away. So if one person is chasing, the other person's going to pull away. If the other person is chasing, then the other person has to pull away. So it's just an energetic law. Don't shoot the messenger. It just is what it is, okay? So there always has to be a healthy amount of tension in this band. If you have 2 people that are, not interested, they're going to pull away, the band's going to break, and they're not going to be together. If you just have a healthy relationship where each person is neutral, each person is doing their own thing, each person is good about, I don't need this person. I'm not obsessing over this person to be in my life, because I love myself unconditionally, and I know that anything that this person can give me, I can give myself. Therefore, I'm not being needy and obsessive over this person. There's going to be a healthy amount of tension in this band, always. But the moment that somebody gets in their needy energy, that other person has to pull away, because there, no matter what, always has to be a healthy amount of tension in that band. Okay? Do you get the idea? So if you are desiring to be in a healthy relationship, you've got to remember that the other person that you are seeking is not going to be able to give you anything that you cannot give yourself. I'm going to say that again. The person that you are seeking is not going to be able to give you anything that you cannot give your damn self. Okay? So that takes your power back. And for the longest time, I was giving my power away to people because I was seeking outside of myself for a feeling of worthiness, for a feeling of being valuable, right? We talked about this in episode 1 of this series. And when I chose to take my power back and decide nothing that anyone else can give me, I cannot give myself, that's when I was like, oh, just your girl stepped into her power, right? And so I want you to remember that. This isn't games, okay? Like, this is legitimate science. This is also what will allow you to stop giving more than what you are receiving. Men love the chase, ladies. Men love the chase. It is literally written in their DNA. They would chase after our food when we were cavemen. They chased after the food. They hunt, they're hunters. And the women, they gather, right? They receive. It's the perfect way to explain it. There's hunters, there's gatherers, okay? The women were the gatherers, the men were the hunters. It is literally just an instinctive thing. Men love the chase, period, end of story. And if you ask any man, no matter what, they're always going to say, we love the chase, okay? So that's another way that this rubber band theory comes into fucking play, period, end of story. Men love the chase. If you are neutral, if you are over here, and guess what? The man is going to come and chase you. But if you're like, oh my gosh, let me do this for you, let me do that for you, let me be here for you, la, 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 let me do this, oh my god, when is he texting me? Oh my god, you know what I'm saying? Like, when that's the energy you're giving pick me energy, you're giving energy of like, I need you, oh my gosh, I need you to pay attention to me because I can't pay attention to myself, blah, 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 blah. No, stop, knock it off, knock it the fuck off. We're not doing that anymore, okay? We're going to adapt into our feminine energy, and we are going to stop doing the chasing. If a man wanted to, he fucking would, period, end of story. Okay? No more excuses. Don't make excuses up for him either, because ew. Okay? If he wanted to, he would. Men love the chase. If they are interested in you, they will chase after you. And you are so deserving of that. And it feels so good to have a man chase after you, to have a man want to be there for you, right? To provide for you, to show you love, to show you that he will step up, that he will do what it takes to earn your love, right? That is how you should feel, because it shouldn't just be something that's given to them. They must earn it. Period. So remember that. Who else is guilty of that? Who else is guilty of like giving and doing the most and not really getting what you're giving in return? Well, I definitely am. And the reason for that is because you don't get what you give. You get what you give yourself. You don't get what you give. You get what you give yourself. When you are so focused on giving someone else everything that they need and putting your own desires on the back burner, putting your own needs on the back burner, you're not going to end up satisfied in the long run. And eventually, you're going to get resentful and the relationship is going to go sour anyways. Do we see how this is such a big deal? If you are constantly doing, and you're not getting anything in return, then you're going to end up being resentful, and we don't want that. So as opposed to doing everything for the other person, start giving that energy to yourself. Period. Turn it around and watch what happens. the other person is going to be like, wait, what's going on here? Like, why are you not, I don't like this. And then they're going to start, you know, they're either going to drop off the face of the earth, which if that is the case, then like, cool, bye. And if that's not the case, then they're going to step up and begin doing what is necessary to earn your love and affection back. It's great. I want to give you a quick example of this. I was dating this guy one day, one day a long time ago, before Bryson, way before Bryson. I was dating this guy and I was doing the fucking most for this guy. He went out of town. Oh, let me watch your dog for you. His mom came into town. Oh, let me drive her to the airport. Like, what? I'm sorry, but that's giving girlfriend duties, and I was not his girlfriend. I wanted to be his girlfriend, but guess what? He just wasn't ready for a relationship. And if a man straight up tells you that he is not ready for a relationship, he's just not that into you. Don't sit around waiting for him to be ready. You deserve so much more than that. Okay? Okay. If you are just like doing things for him in hopes of, oh, well, if I do this, this, and that, he's going to see how amazing I am and he's going to want to be my boyfriend. Like, no. Like, stop. Stop doing that to yourself right now. Trust me, I know what it's like, and I know this is not like the information that you want to hear, but like, let me just save you some time and some heartbreak. Just leave him now. Okay? Promise me this. From here on out, it is an equal exchange of energy or it's not for you. Okay? It's an equal exchange of energy or it's not for you. Period. End of story. If you get neutral about what it is that you are desiring and where you are at currently, the next thing, the next chapter that we're desiring is going to come a lot more fast. And you will be a lot less stressed and you will live a happier life because you are more present and less focused on the things that you do not have. Okay? So take whatever it is that you're desiring off the pedestal, get neutral about it. See how there's an equal amount of good to the bad, bad to the good. And stop comparing yourself to what's happening around you. Stop comparing yourself to your friends. Understand that your time is coming because it is. Hold that knowing. Make sure that you sign up for my free masterclass this Sunday, where I'm spilling the 5 shifts that are key in order to manifest and keep your dream relationship. This is more than just manifesting your dream relationship, you guys. This is about becoming the person who is your dream person's dream person. This is about the transformation that you make before you are an energetic match for your dream person, for your dream romantic relationship. This is about embodying the love that you seek so that you can manifest your dream relationship. Join me next Tuesday for the next episode of this series. If you liked this episode, please do me a small favor and leave a rating and review if you know somebody who needs this series. Share it with them so that they can join us. You are not alone, and you most definitely do not deserve to settle for anything less than everything you desire in a romantic relationship. And together, we are about to break free from toxic patterns, embody the love that we seek, and manifest your dream relationship. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure that you sign up for my free masterclass this Sunday if you haven't already. Can't wait to see you inside. And as always, we will chat soon.